Chilling UFO encounter. April 24, Swiss Alps. A commercial pilot was flying his normal route from Geneva to Zurich when something highly unusual caught his eye outside the cockpit window. As the plane passed over the beautiful Swiss Alps, the pilot spotted something that absolutely blew his mind. Take a look.
Été filmé par un pilote depuis le cockpit de son petit avion le 24 avril dernier. Alors qu'il effectuait un passage au-dessus des Alpes suisses en direction de Zurich, il a été stupéfait par cet ovni. L'aéroport de Genève ainsi que celui de Zurich n'ont rien observé sur leur radar.
In the footage, a mysterious metallic object can be seen hovering motionless in the sky right above the clouds. The UFO appeared to be disc-shaped, looking almost familiar to the classic flying saucer. Just as the plane was flying close to the UFO, almost instantly, the object shifted its orientation. Rotating from a flat horizontal position to a vertical one, the craft began descending straight down at a steady speed. As it dropped lower, the saucer vanished into the clouds as if it is trying to hide itself from the pilot. This UFO sighting is really astounding because if you look at its shape when it flips, it almost looks like a black hexagon at the bottom. But what I found most interesting about this UFO is the manner in which it changed positions and descended. At first, I was expecting the UFO to descend exactly the way it was hovering above the clouds. But when it flipped and glided down vertically, honestly, it was truly compelling. I mean, I was really amazed. Hovering above the clouds in a horizontal shape to shifting into a vertical position instantly is really difficult for any aircraft or plane to do that. Even if they do it, they usually have to fly around a bit or circle down to come to a vertical position, which is almost difficult for a majority of the pilots to do so due to high G-force. Not to mention, they already have to be in a flying position in the first place. But in this case, the object was hovering absolutely still in the air, without any movement, and when the pilot came closer, the UFO instantly changed its position and descended slowly, completely vanishing from the sight. Despite the clear footage, neither the Geneva nor Zurich airports reported any unusual targets on their radars during this incident, leaving the UFO's identity a complete mystery. The pilot's video has sparked intense debate and skepticism as viewers attempt to explain what could move and operate in such an unconventional manner. Many suggested this could be a military drone. However, considering the altitude, it seems highly unlikely. So did the pilot encounter something mind-blowing that still remains a mystery to us? Or is it all just a very clever, elaborate hoax? You decide. UFOs are real. What I'm about to show you next is one of the best UFO evidences I have discovered till date. So, you see, thousands of individuals from nearly every corner of the globe have claimed to have witnessed mysterious unidentified flying objects landing on the ground. This photograph is from 1969 and is claimed to be a real UFO landing site. Just look at it. Amazing, isn't it? Now, what if I told you that this is not the only UFO landing site? Here is another one from 3 years earlier in Tully, Australia. Another one from Minnesota, 1975. Eyewitnesses reported that most of the time, these mysterious crafts were round and adjacent in shape. Now all these mysterious sightings left some really compelling evidence, which was revealed by Ted Phillips, a research associate at the Center for UFO Studies, who is acknowledged as the world's leading expert on the physical traces found at UFO landing sites. For the past 4 decades, Ted has conducted specialized research, collecting data on over 1,480 UFO landings from 59 different countries worldwide.
These are soil samples taken from 5 recent UFO landing sites and are fairly representative of some 200 to 300 UFO landing sites that I...
Now here is where things start to get interesting. Ted personally investigated a UFO landing site in Delphos, Kansas. The soil samples collected from the landing ring exhibited peculiar properties. Firstly, the soil was extremely dehydrated and unable to absorb water, causing it to float instead. However, the soil samples taken just a few feet away from the landing ring behaved completely normal, absorbing water within seconds. What's even more weird is that the UFO-affected soil was not able to support seed germination or plant growth, while the nearby soil, which was taken just a few feet away from the UFO landing ring, sustained normal plant life. These discoveries indicate a striking similarity in how soil is affected by UFO landings.
I've investigated a rather high percentage of these reports personally and have found a remarkable consistency in size and shape.
His investigations have revealed imprints left by the landing gear of the objects, often arranged in triangular or rectangular patterns, indicating tremendous pressure and weight. Witnesses who had close encounters with UFOs have reported experiencing sunburn-like effects on their faces, necks, and hands, as well as extreme dryness in their nasal and throat areas. Ted has personally interviewed nearly 2,000 individuals who have had UFO experiences. Their testimonies, ranging from police officers and clergymen to news and business professionals, have convinced him of the reality of these phenomena, despite the skepticism surrounding their accounts. Another individual who is a retired Air Force member, Colonel Wendell Stevens, shares his experiences in Alaska, which have significantly contributed to his belief in the existence of UFOs. Through his own investigations and eyewitness accounts, he has become convinced that these mysterious crafts are physical, tangible, and extraterrestrial in nature.
Then I became convinced that there's something here, and the something that's here, at least a part of the something that's here, is physical, it's tangible.
In his lectures across the continent, Colonel Stevens has spoken to over 90 former military personnel who have witnessed excellent UFO sightings during their service. However, their data was not reported to Project Blue Book, the government's official UFO investigation program, but instead went to organizations like the Aerospace Defense Command or the National Security Agency, where strict security measures were imposed. When you look at it carefully, the evidence is overwhelming. The sheer number of these witnesses has led Colonel Stevens to conclude that either all these individuals are lying, or there is something truly extraordinary happening in this world that we are not aware of. And whatever that is, it is not from this world. So, I'd like to ask you, what are your thoughts on these UFO landings? A completely made-up decade of hoaxes, or a genuine encounter with otherworldly beings? I leave it up to you to decide. The triangular craft. August 17th, 2008, Warwickshire, England. A person along with one of his family members was driving down the road in England. As they were going down the residential street, that's when their attention was captured by something strange high up in the sky. Take a look.
It's not even there. Oh, I'm not trying to check with you. Sorry?
A large, mysterious black triangular object, as shown in the footage, seems to be hovering silently among the dark clouds. Quickly realizing this was no ordinary sighting, they pulled out their mobile phone to capture footage of the peculiar craft. At first glance, one might think it was simply a solar balloon or kite caught in the wind. But as the witness continued recording, it became clear this was no ordinary object. Solar balloons are only buoyed by the heat of the sun, yet the skies that day were overcast and cloudy. That means solar balloons couldn't be the case here. Also, according to the witness, the winds were quite strong, ruling out the possibility of it being a basic kite, because kites also don't typically exhibit that slow, controlled rotational movement as seen in this video. Also, if you look at this stabilized footage, I don't think I've seen any kite move like this. so this is truly an unexplained case. As the mysterious triangle turned, glimpses of its shape came into view. It appeared to be a solid craft of some kind, not just a random bundle of bags or debris blowing in the wind. For several minutes, the dark triangular object hovered in the sky, continuing its slow spin against the wind currents. The eyewitness remained surprised as to what he just witnessed. Despite the somewhat turbulent weather conditions, the craft maintained its controlled hover and rotations throughout the entire sighting. No sounds, trails, or means of propulsion were evident from the footage. The astonished witness was left with only their video as proof of the encounter. To this day, the incident has been debated over many social media platforms. Various theories have emerged, from secret military aircraft to extraterrestrial crafts and everything in between. But without conclusive evidence of its true nature, we are left to speculate whether or not this was an actual UFO sighting, or a classified military project being tested in the skies, or perhaps just an unusual meteorological phenomenon manifesting in a deceptive way. Whatever that is, you be the judge of that. UFO destroying aircraft. May 17, 1997, England. The footage begins by showing an American F-16 fighter jet, filmed by another F-16 fighter jet, both flying at an altitude of around 2,000 meters. Nothing seemed strange at first, as military aircraft were a common sight in British skies. But then something truly bizarre enters the frame. Let's take a look. An unidentified flying object emerges from behind the clouds in close proximity to the F-16. The object does not seem to look like any known aircraft. It almost appears as a large circular craft, approximately 5 to 6 meters in diameter. The mysterious object descends and enters the cloud layer, maneuvering in a way no conventional plane could move. At this point, both the American F-16 pilots were equally stunned by what they were witnessing. When undergoing investigation, experts and researchers were unable to conclusively identify the nature of this unknown craft. All they could discern were its approximate size and the fact that it did not fly like any normal aircraft. But here's where things truly start to get interesting. According to one former Soviet military officer who was interviewed regarding this incident, these types of encounters between military aircraft and unidentifiable flying objects were extremely common during the Cold War era. He even clearly described many occasions where Soviet fighter jets encountered peculiar aircraft that did not appear to belong to any known nation's air forces. The two superpowers continually tested each other's airspace boundaries, but on multiple occasions, they came into contact with a third unknown presence in the skies. Reportedly, there have been numerous cases where these strange objects caused damage to airplanes upon contact, although such incidents were kept under strict secrecy. While many questions remain unanswered, these incidents and reports are considered to be legitimate and authentic. And if that's the case, does that mean that the F-16 pilots encountered something truly otherworldly? Well, let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Silent encounter. And just before I show it to you, more amazing genuine UFO videos are on your way, so if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to Classified Sightings and turn on notifications to never miss out on our future videos. February 1998, Suffolk, England. On a normal evening in the coastal town of Lowestoft, David Spoor, a local resident, found himself bearing witness to something highly unusual in the night sky. Casually, as he looked up in the sky, a strange sight immediately caught his eye. Take a look.
It kept in that position for around half a minute or so. Then it suddenly shot off quite a pretty fast speed, fast enough that I couldn't keep up with it.
Hovering silently in the distance was an unidentified object, emitting a bright light. Acting quickly, David propped his video camera on top of his car to steadily film the bizarre phenomenon. For around 30 seconds, the luminous object hovered motionless in the air. And just when things couldn't get any more bizarre, almost in an instant, the UFO shot off at an astounding speed, far too fast for David's camera to even properly track. The UFO zipped out of sight as swiftly as it had appeared, leaving the confused witness struggling to relocate it.
Then it suddenly shot off quite a pretty fast speed, fast enough that I couldn't keep up with it.
Despite his efforts scanning the neighborhood for any further signs of the object, it seemed to have vanished completely and soundlessly without leaving a single trace. All David had to show for the inexplicable encounter was the puzzling footage he managed to capture. The sighting is made even more perplexing by its location. Lowestoft lies just a short distance from Rendlesham Forest, the site of the infamous series of UFO incidents in late 1980 known as Britain's Roswell. While the Rendlesham file remains one of the most famous and well-documented UFO cases in the UK, David Spore's video from nearly 2 decades later serves as a reminder that East Anglia appears to be a long-standing hotspot for UFO activity. Whether the two sightings were related or a mere coincidence is open to speculation. What David captured on tape is believed to be undeniably real, a brilliant, seemingly intelligently controlled craft of unknown origin, utilizing technology far beyond our understanding. So, was this incident just a one-off sighting of a stray UFO? Or something really profound and unexplained has been happening in that region of England for years? Well, as always, you decide. Now, recently, a person had an astounding encounter with a UFO that somehow managed to take control of his car. And this video here will show the full footage to you, or you can click on this playlist to check out our other amazing UFO sightings. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification to get notified every time I upload a new video.